Welcome everyone to Wichita Vice.
Yeah. Here we go. Sometimes you gotta strut. It's Captain Chris with a K.
Hello there. It's your famous comic book hero, Mr. Brett.
And as always, straight from the Fortress of Solitude, it's the off-brand Superman, Marquez Christopher Easton.
And your boy, Big Don.
This is your rated R comic book razzle dazzle affordable philanthropist cape on superstar Carlos in the house. Welcome everyone to Wichita Vice. Yes, yeah. I'm affordable because I have to stretch out payment plans. Yeah, you guys, we are going to talk about the Fantastic Four. If you did not tune in yet, do not forget we did talk about Fantastic Four First Steps over on Silver Cosmo Movie Reviews. Stay tuned to that. So before we dive in, let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Hey guys, why don't you check out She Barber Cuts Barbershop and give Markeisha Brown, the licensed professional barber there, a call at 316-218-3566 for all your haircut needs. She's got cuts for kids, adults, and for those looking for the good one, the deluxe with beard trims, wash, and hot towels. So don't forget to give Markeisha a call at She Barber Cuts and see her at 2319 North Ridge, Barber Suite 6A here in Wichita, Kansas.
Fantastic Four was created by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. Their first appearance was The Fantastic Four issue 1 back in November of 1961. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the characters.
Well, leading us off, we have Mr. Fantastic, aka Reed Richards. His powers, surprisingly enough for Stan Lee, Jack Kirby character, are genius level intellect. That tends to go around with a lot of their characters. But he's also an exceptional engineer, physicist, biologist, chemist, everythingist. And he's also his power that from the power cosmic that he got is his superhuman elasticity, malleability, and durability that are just completely extreme. And depending on which version you are reading about him, are completely insane what he can do with some of those powers.
And coming up next, we're talking about the ever-loving blue-eyed thing. His powers include his superhuman strength, stamina, and durability. And he also has immortality and skin hand combat, and also got those in there, the rock orange skin.
Yes. And then next we have the Invisible Woman, Susan Storm. She can generate force fields, turn invisible. She can levitate, telepathic immunity. Mm-hmm. What? That doesn't. That
can't be affected by telepathic powers.
Oh, okay. That's a new power. Okay. She can fly. She can generate invisible energy constructs. So she's almost like a Marvel Green Lantern in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just an all-around great character.
And finally, we have the Human Torch, which powers consist of pyrokinesis, a fire form that enables him to fly, and he also has heat absorption.
And for those who do not know, Sue Storm, aka Invisible Woman, when we got to the point telepathic immunity, if they do this in the movie Marvel Secret Wars, in the comic books, Professor X tries to get in Sue Storm's head and he can't. He doesn't understand why he can't read her mind. Just throwing it out there for everybody. So stay tuned on that.
Okay.
So let's go and talk about Mr. Fantastic. I mean, what a great character. He's a leader, a father, a brother-in-law, and a great friend in the Thing, aka Ben Grimm's. So what makes you like Mr. Fantastic, Chris?
Well, just the way he is pursuing his pursuit of knowledge, and even with the powers, he's still trying to get better. And his whole goal is to make things better for everyone. He's not just trying to pursue for his own, his own benefit. He really tries to share all these things, and it's kind of the root in many of their cases when they in their kind of futuristic landscape that you often find the characters abiding in. He's usually provided a lot of those advances that you see in those to the public, because he's just all about making life easier, better, greater for everyone, and that goes into his super thing, as far as like saving people and stuff like that, just trying to help and make the world a little better. And of course, he's the reason everybody else's life is now horrible in the Fantastic Four, because he had to go beyond everything. So, but
all right, for me, the Thing. Oh no, we're talking about the Thing. We're talking about Mr. Fantastic. Sorry. Mr. Fantastic, he seems like he's always, he always has like a moving mind. Like it's like he never tries to sit down. He's like the of course, him being a leader, he centers the group together. He keeps everything together. Always thinking, always saying, if I could do this, then we could do this, and then always improves on what like he's always like building new suits for the crew, coming up with some crazy new power source or some electronic or scientific advancement. And then I always admire what goes on in the mind of Mr. Fantastic.
He likes to stretch things out.
Bum.
Yeah. I like what I like about Mr. Fantastic. He always was kind of like the linchpin that kind of kept the family together. I mean, it's like you touched on. He said that he like you say, he stretches things out, but no, he lives most of the time in his own mind, which gives him kind of like this cold, distant feel. But you want him there because that's how, when he comes out of it, he always has some sort of solution to pretty much every problem. So he's a solver, a fixer. I think that's what I like about him.
Yeah, pretty much everybody hit on these points, but he's one of the, top minds, in the world amongst other superheroes and humans alike. And he's always using that knowledge, to ever keep things progressing, find new ways to improve humanity, and and even of course when problems are come to to the fray, he's there to help do his best, use his mind to solve it. And he, in the comic books, stop Galactus. He was one smart enough to find an object that can stop him, that even made him afraid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What I admire a lot about Mr. Fantastic, besides being a wonderful, husband to be and all that, the humane side of him is he's always trying to find balance with everything. I respect him, especially in the comic books during the Civil War. He did not like how things were progressing. He wasn't choosing. He didn't want to choose sides between Captain America and Iron Man.
Even though he did.
He did at the end because he saw a bigger
Remember
point. He saw a bigger point in the deal. But that's why when he joined the Illuminati, which we did a show on that. So if you want to look into that, we did that also on one of our prior shows. He's just at the end understands that all the superheroes have a responsibility. And give credit to Jack Kirby and them when they created the Fantastic Four. One of the things is that they didn't have to hide. They didn't have to do a disguise. It was out in the open, and especially with that building that they had, that Baxter building, it's just indeed he created everything. And going there, and one of the things, as the most smartest man in the world, he did still struggle to lock down Sue Storm. He did struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
You know this.
He created the ultimate nullifier. It's a device that changes the laws of matter conservation. But then when it came to relationships, it just wasn't, he had to work a little harder,
Right.
So,
But I admired his shows, especially in the 90s when I followed the show. He was great. And also the characters that have portrayed him, except the one where
Miles
Michael
Teller.
B. Jordan was in. No, that movie.
We won't talk about
That movie will
Oh.
never be mentioned here. Even if it was
Shouldn't have
in the
happened.
Silver Cosmo Classics, we'll give it
Yeah.
maybe 2-3 minutes.
yeah.
It happened. It's gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now let's move on over to The Thing. Brett, why is The Thing one of your favorite Fantastic Four characters?
I like him because in the earlier adaptations of comic books, he was just himself. He was this big, strong, just gruff, but lovable. But on the inside, he was a teddy bear, a marshmallow.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you went detailed there.
yeah, and then and he's a big lovable guy, and then also his constant quips with was it Johnny? Yeah, him and Johnny would always they would read comic, they would always crack me up because they were either they were pranking each other or just downright just going head to head. But Ben's self discovery, trying to fit in. First he hates the fact that he's this rock creature, and and him maturing, finally coming to the realization that he has to that he has to look deep inside and accept himself for who he is, and it was kind of messed up, that his wife, kind of dipped on him in the comic books, but at the same time, he was able to recover and find, as we were speaking of earlier, that that family aspect with the Fantastic Four.
But he did get a girlfriend.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did get a girlfriend, and at the end, so power to him for that.
Well, he did a great job, especially in that movie with Kerry Washington.
Yeah. Able to make him a pair of Nikes. I don't know how.
Yeah. What I like about the character is that it always seems like whenever you get a big, strong character, people think that because they're strong physically in stature, that they're weak in character. That they're weak emotionally, and I feel like Ben Grimm throws that out the window. He just says no. He takes that and just says no, that's not me. And I feel like with this character, just the tragedy of him. He can't turn it on and off like the others can. That kind of adds an air, like from a narrative point of view, it's like such a oh look, we associate worth with appearance. How is he gonna that part of it? The way he internalizes that grief from looking the way he does. This whole thing, and he kind of really personifies the idea of hey, it's what's inside that counts. But that's one of the things that's so beautiful about the character to me is the fact that he has it much harder than the others. And he runs that really well. He deals with that really well. I think every time we see him, he's all that aspect of him. They make that about that's such a deep part of his character, and he kind of comes out like. His road is a lot tougher than the other three.
And back to the reference of the movie, I feel Michael Chiklis did a great job portraying the thing. Dylan was great as well. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I just felt this one, he was more aggressive, and he had to deal with that change. And then remember when he got changed back in the first one, he was all happy and whatever, and then back to normal. But he realized at the end, like, hey, it was a given power, and they went from there. What about you, Don?
The best thing I like about him is, he can stand toe to toe with some of the most biggest powerhouses in the comic books, like
Hulk,
She-Hulk, Juggernaut. He's went toe to toe with him, and he still keeps coming. Yeah. He may not be a strong one, but there have been some versions of him. He's gave him a run for his money and actually knocked him down. So that's
on a straight up fight. Who would win, the Hulk or the Thing?
Well. I say I'm have to still stick with the Hulk on that one because the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets, and the Thing can only keep up with for so long until Hulk decides it's going to touch him. And then Hulk has said he does crush rocks. So he's made from rock, so
well, rock-like substance, but rock nonetheless.
Yeah, I like the thing I like about the Thing is that he is not a villain. Like, he's got the perfect setup to be the villain. Like, my best friend talked me into going into space, and look what happened to me. Like, he's got a hot wife and cool powers, and I look like this. And he did, like, they do reference that many times in the comic book as he deals with those thoughts of insecurity and appearance, and even too strong or things like that. But I think it's just pretty cool that he didn't turn into a villain because he has that heart of gold and that love for his best friend and his best friend's essentially family, which is Sue and Johnny, which he is also kind of part of that same family to that extent. And he is not just the brawn. He is more than that. He's still a person inside. I mean, it's definitely a move, like he's the frontline soldier where you've got Mr. Fantastic back on the science team through most of everything. But he is that crazy, incredible fighter that gives them a chance in the brawls. Fantastic might be able to hold an arm back while the Thing is, bashing the guy in. So the Thing is pretty cool that way.
All right, let's move on over to
Human Torch. Well, I think with the Human Torch, I feel I like about him is that he just craves fire and can pretty much burn anything, but the only problem you know, he can turn it on and off when able, but with his ability to fly, you know, that's pretty cool that, you know, but he has to have oxygen, so he can't really go out in space and burn like he wants to.
Mhm.
That's pretty about the biggest thing that's cool about him, that he can fly and then shoot fireballs, basically.
Yeah, I remember the original Human Torch was an android. You know, I remember back in the that was one of the things that Stan Lee was talking about it during one interview. He said that they changed it. You know, I thought that would have been an interesting dynamic to have. No, as a standalone character. You know, but I like him much better as a member of the Fantastic Four, like the literal hothead, that you know, kind of the comic relief type of character. You know, and I'm glad the fact that they tried to ground the fantasy by showing that he cannot burn in space because there's no oxygen in space. So then I've always wondered as a kid, could he swim? Could he burn underwater? And would that be a thing? No, but I mean, that was always kind of like one of my things, but no, Johnny Storm is really, he's just, like I say, he jokes around a lot. He pokes fun at Ben Grimm, but when he's needed, you know, he can come through with some really tender moments.
Yeah, Johnny Storm, you know, I have the whole crew, like I said, he always has his back and forth with Ben Grimm, the Thing, and you know, kind of like in the, even when I watched that first live action film when Chris Evans portrayed the role, I mean, he was a complete goofball. And that's what you kind of love about him, because I remember the part of the movie where he snapped his fingers, fire. He's like, now imagine that, but everywhere.
Yeah.
But that's what you love about him. I mean, he's not trying to be, I mean, he's just his regular old goofy self. He can be a show off at times, but he still, you know, when the time is right, he comes through for his crew.
Yeah, to me, he's kind of the heart, really, like the emotion, like the passion, for the team. His powers are not necessarily undefeatable, like they're pretty defeatable. Like take away oxygen, put him underwater, he's kind of out. But he's still the heart of the team. Like he's still got the passion. Like, yeah, he's fiery on the outside, but he's also fiery on the inside.
Yeah.
Which leads to some of that goofiness, because it's really probably just he's got to let loose some of that steam, literally, because he's so passionate about things. But and he's always just been there as just supporting and there when he's needed. He's I don't feel like he's really been the main focus of any big stories, but
not really.
Yeah, but he's always there. Like he's always ready to do everything that he possibly can, even if it's not using his fire. Like he is still super smart. He's still a overachiever in all these different elements of his life. So he's still able to commit to helping in other ways. But he's fun. He's fun, and you know, he's likable. You like him, you root for him. He's just like the heart. I think that's kind of where
that's the best word you could say is the heart. He's someone that's rebellious. At the same time, he's part of the team, and eventually he's hot-headed and he's arrogant. Chris Evans portrayed him very well in that aspect. In this new Fantastic Four, there was a balance.
Yeah.
He was funnier, but he was really mellowed out, which was fine. Chris Evans, it just felt like it was a comedy. Like, oh, you're hot. I know. like okay, really, bro? Like,
So what are your superhero names?
They call me the Human Torch. Ladies call me Torch.
Bad one-liner.
Cornball, man.
But I will tell you this: that Deadpool versus Wolverine, that was fun.
Great.
Yeah.
He goes, wait for it. He play him up. Like,
that was really good.
Didn't they put him out with water in that?
No, Pyro.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, who could manipulate fire?
Took all his fire.
He fell.
That was horrible.
But indeed, in the comic books, he's that guy. You know, just you need him when you need him. And I just feel like when they're facing off against Dr. Doom, he has all their numbers. He knows how to balance it out. And so, Fantastic, we're taking him out. I like how they've always paired him off trying to go against Silver Surfer. And, we know
so flying.
Indeed, depending on how they're going to do. I mean, when you really look at it, all he can do is just fly and just flame on kind of thing. You go against someone that can bring him down. I mean, better watch out.
Yeah, he's pretty durable. He can absorb energy. But yeah, other than that,
I don't know. But I'll tell you this, though. To wrap up here, the Fantastic Four, we decided that we're going to start showing a little bit more love to the villains as well. So we're expanding everything. We're expanding everything out. But before then, how could we forget Sue Storm?
Yes.
How could we forget Sue
I didn't
Storm?
forget
Uh-oh.
yeah,
We're gonna have to talk to the.
I like
we're gonna
all
have
the
to talk to
Sue Storms.
the editors here. What happened here?
Yeah, we really would have got it then.
All right, Chris, tell me about Sue Storm. How could we forget her?
Well,
That's
that-
like
that
saying
was
forget about Jessica
Marquez.
Alba.
yeah,
Marquez, tell me about it.
yeah.
What do you like about it?
I think she's the ultimate protector.
Yeah.
She is the one that, not just because of her, she can put up protective fields. Okay, yeah, because she can put up protective fields.
It's definitely one of those.
Yeah. But no, she always seems to be more for the well-being of the team. Not just the team, but the world. You know what I mean? I mean, I've always seen her. One of the things I've always said about superheroes, what makes them interesting, is not the scope of their power, it's how they use their power.
Sure.
And in that regard, she's actually one of the greatest heroes that Marvel has. She always uses her powers for defense in some capacity. You know what I mean? It's either evasion, to avoid conflict, or use a force field to protect something or to prevent something. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that makes the character so beautiful, is the fact that she is always looking out for others, and plus she's a very maternal character, and by that, her motherly, and she just looks out for everything and everybody, and that's got to be stressful, but yeah,
Most likely.
yeah, that's what I love about the character, mostly.
I have to agree. I just piggyback on that. I think she's that defensive and protection. Also, I think she is the strongest of, when you boil that down, the different abilities. I mean, the things she can do with that energy manipulation, the invisible constructs type stuff, is pretty limitless. Kind of like the Green Lantern, like we've referenced before. There's, yes, she can shield stuff, but she can make things. She can. She's got the telepathic immunity, which is huge if you ever go up against someone like Phoenix or something like that. She's just got that. She's in my opinion, the strongest. She deals with Reed Richards, so she's got some strength there. I think that motherly aspect probably comes from she's obviously got some years. I think in most iterations, she has some years on Johnny Storm, her younger brother, and so she's probably acted fairly motherly, maternal for him as well.
Yeah, since their parents
and
have passed.
honestly, it feels like if Reed Richards didn't have somebody mothering him, he would probably starve, and his clothes would simply wear off of him because he wouldn't get out of the lab, and he wouldn't do, you know what I mean? And so she is a scientist with him and does all these things with him, but she's also like, hey, take a break, you need to eat, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm a big fan of Sue Storm. I think she's pretty cool.
Okay, one thing I noticed about Sue Storm, definitely watching the movies now, that I got a hold of, there is patience.
Yeah, you have to be patient.
To deal with Reed Richards, and as much as he never wants to sit down somewhere, like Reed, she's the one that could really. Was the one to really just corral that man.
Yeah.
Same thing with Johnny Storm, as rebellious and sometimes like a goofball he can be. She centers him, and then Ben Graham, she loves on him because they're the best friend aspect. So her thing, my thing that I've admired, besides all the superpowers that she has, is patience.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and I was just double checking her. She did kind of raise her younger brother because their parents died when they were young.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Yeah.
What I like about her, like you said, the mother aspect, being protective and being able to keep together, the group together, and make sure everybody's taken care of. But then also, she can be, even though she's defensive, she can be, aggressive also, where she can use her force fields, and create one inside somebody's body and expand it until it explodes.
Yeah. Or
Or
smash them.
Or she can do it otherwise, where she
Yeah.
can put it around them and keep shrinking it down till they're crushed. So even though she can be defensive, she can also be aggressive, and be in attack mode also. So so that's what one thing, cool things I found out about her, that he's like, man, hey, she can also attack if she really wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's about my take on Invisible Woman.
Already.
Oh, you did well. She's the eye candy of Marvel. That's what it is. I mean, she's got what's Neymar. Neymar is head over heels for her.
Mhm.
I mean, this is a guy that could have destroyed the planet, and she was able to find a balance. And she's loyal. She's loyal. Gotta give her
Doesn't
credit.
Doom have a little crush on her too?
He's more driven. Well, no, in
Or
the
it's
comic
more
books,
just that they
he's
kind
more
of.
driven, and it's just that it's Neymar in the comic books. Neymar,
Yeah, but I've always felt like Doom has a little
he might have
little love
crush.
for her. Not, I don't know.
He kind of did before he became.
I don't want to say
Doom.
crush, but just like, yeah, I don't know.
Well,
A little some. Well, you guys, that wraps up the Fantastic Four. Like I said, we are going to dive in some other villains as well. What villains should we do next up? We've got Galactus. Galactus is someone pretty interesting we can do.
I wouldn't say he was a villain in a way.
He's more of an
Assess.
the balance between creation and
A
destruction.
force is what.
He's the bad guy if he's trying to destroy them.
Yeah, there. But also,
I guess you could make an argument on the show if he was
he's
a.
not evil, but he's not good either.
He simply is.
Because he just lives because he got to eat. So
Yeah.
Well,
You
get
don't
some
say.
comments on this, and we'll
Yeah.
see. Get some good.
Yeah, write it down in the comments
What is
below.
that?
Like I said, like and subscribe, smash that button. Before shout outs, before we leave.
Just a big shout out to Eric and Pal and Dylan, all those guys that work behind the scenes. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
shout out to shout out to the crew, especially Eric behind the scenes, and shout out to all our listeners, and always hi, Mom and Dad.
I also want to just give a shout out to the listeners out there and the crew behind the scenes. Keeping us going, and once again, being around here with the fellas, having great discussions, and hey, there.
I want to give a great shout out to all our local comic book stores. Thank you guys for doing what you're doing. Shout out to Barnes and Noble for expanding on that the book covers there. Also, I want to do a great shout out to the legends and Stanley and Jack Kirby. This was great. Your imagination has brought these characters to life, and like I said, it just keeps growing. And thank you for making one of my favorite superhero groups. Thank you very much. Shout out to the friends, the family that always listen and tune into our shows. And for the people that we have not met, I just want to tell you thank you for tuning in. And like I said, we're a family here. Like and subscribe, and just drop some comments down. We want to hear from you guys as well. But until then, we're out.